Hi, welcome to Your Guide Outside. I'm Gary Lancaster, and your guide has got COVID. Welcome to Isolation Headquarters, the shed. I do spend a lot of time outside too. I just want to give you a quick update of my experience with COVID. I know a lot of people are afraid of getting it, possibly even panicky about it. So I just want to tell you my experience. Certainly, um, your experience could be worse than mine, but I just want to tell you what's going on with me. We were going to try to do this Wyoming antelope hunt video this week during Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving week, but obviously my editor and I have been separated. We've been isolated from each other because I have COVID. As of now, she does not. So I'm going to try to do this by myself with no editing or anybody to tell me to stop rambling or to cut me off or any of that great stuff. So we're going to cover today, I'm just going to cover Monday through Thursday, which was Thanksgiving. Try to keep it short, let you know what I've been doing, my symptoms, kind of the CDC guidelines for what we're up to and what we've been doing at the house. So CDC guidelines are if you are exposed to somebody that has COVID, that you're to isolate for 14 days after your exposure. So your first day starts on the day after your exposure, and then you're supposed to stay quarantined for 14 days. If you test positive, then you're supposed to quarantine for 10 days. Your first day of quarantine being the day after your positive test. So you'd isolate yourself for 10 days after your positive test. So a little strategy, if you're exposed to somebody, if you waited 4 days and then get tested for COVID on the fourth day, it would not increase your length of quarantining. If you got a positive test on the fourth day, you would have 10 days more of isolation. So a little strategy for testing for COVID. The CDC does suggest that if you are exposed to somebody that has a positive test, that you should get a test as well to help minimize your exposure. That way you just know that you have it. So we have isolated me at the house. I have the back playroom. We've set up a table and I eat there and kind of hang out there, and then my wife has moved in the spare bedroom. Don't worry, Blair. Grandma told me don't touch any of Blair's toys, so I'm not playing with your stuff. So I'm going to kind of cover Monday through Thursday, what I've been doing, and my symptoms and stuff like that. So Monday, I went to work, Monday the 23rd, and they called me a little after noon and told me that I need to leave the job site, that I've been exposed to a guy who tested positive for COVID. So my isolation day was going to start actually started Friday because I exposed to him on a Thursday before. We were going to host Thanksgiving, so I didn't leave the city. I called my wife and we talked about it. I was going to try to get a test for COVID, and if I tested positive, we would just cancel Thanksgiving because we were hosting it. We had people coming in from Arizona, Dallas, Kansas City, and there wouldn't really be a good way for us to isolate at our house. So we decided to get a test. If I tested negative, we would just let everybody know that I'd been exposed, and it would be up to them whether they wanted to come and risk exposure to me. If I tested positive, we would just cancel. So I couldn't get a test on Monday, so I came home that night. We got an isolation room set up for me. We started wearing masks in the house whenever we were in common areas or if we were going to be close to each other. Definitely stood back 6 to 10 feet. If they were going to come in and bring me a meal into the back room, I would just go into my bedroom, wait for them to get that done, and then leave. So Tuesday morning was the last day. Tuesday was the last day of rifle season here in Missouri, so I went hunting that morning and then didn't see anything. I went and took the test, and then I went back to hunting that evening. Didn't see anything again. I got an email, so they called me on the way back and said that I had tested positive. So on the way home, I called everybody, let them know that I tested positive. We were canceling Thanksgiving, and that's what we're going to have to do this year. So um, while I was hunting, when they gave me a call, I asked them to, hey, can you email me the results, just so I had a printout of it with the receipt and everything. So they emailed me results. While I was hunting, I got that email. I didn't open it at that time. I waited till I got back to the truck. So this is about 6 o'clock at night. Test center is closed. So, but the results in the email said that I was negative. So I called them. Of course, they didn't answer. Then I texted them at a number that I used for when I got there. You texted a number. And then I emailed them. I had an email address for them off their website. So I had didn't get through on the phone. When I texted them, they texted me back and said that they call people who are positive results immediately before they do anything, just so those people know that they're positive, and that the paperwork hadn't been changed and before it got emailed to me. Because I asked her on the phone when she told me it was positive if she could email me the results, and I think she did it right away without having the results changed. So the next morning when I got up, I got an email back from the head who said that he was sorry, for the confusion. Pretty much reiterated what the text messages said, and that if I would like to retest, they would do that for free. And so I took them up on it. So Wednesday morning, I went bow hunting. Saw quite a few deer that morning, just nothing within range. Came back, went in and took my test. Came back positive again. I waited for my results this time. They brought me out my form, which said I was positive. Then I went to Knob Noster to do some scouting. I drew a rifle hunt there on some Missouri public ground. That's a draw-only hunt. So I went down there to do some scouting. I was the only one there. Go figure. Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So Thursday is Thanksgiving. Of course, I went hunting that morning. What else are you going to do? Again, saw a few deer here and there. Nothing came in close enough for me to shoot again. And of course, this is Thanksgiving Day. So I come back. I FaceTime my family from the truck. They're in there making appetizers, pinwheels. Sorry you guys missed out on those. Those are pretty good. So I asked them to bring me some appetizers. They brought wassail and pinwheels out to the truck, set it on the hood, and then I got out and so I snacked there in the truck while I was FaceTiming them. We're lucky enough to everybody have iPhones, and so I was able to do some FaceTiming with them during meals, which is nice because then we can still have our conversations. About the only time we get everybody together to where we can all talk. So that was nice. We still did Thanksgiving. They set me up a plate back in the isolation room, and then we just FaceTimed during the meal. If you don't have iPhones and you can't FaceTime, there's Zoom meetings. I'm sure there's other avenues through Google that you can use with your Androids. So check those out. Still a great way to stay together, even though you're isolated. So that's my Monday through Thursday. I haven't really had any symptoms or any problems. I did sleep quite a bit yesterday, but that was Saturday. I decided to take a day off from hunting and catch up on some sleep. So I did that. I haven't noticed that I've been too tired a little bit, I guess, more than normal. I'd have like a slight headache just kind of right behind my eyeballs, but not really a sinus headache up in here. It's been more of like right back in there. Maybe a little more tired than normal. So that's about all I've been experiencing. Hopefully, if you end up getting the COVID, then you'll have the same experience I have. Just kind of maybe have symptoms, but maybe not. So get outside, get some fresh air. That's going to be good for you. Don't forget your vitamins and drink lots of milk. All right, we'll see you guys next time. I'll do a video Friday through Monday. My mom's been tested. My wife's been tested. My wife's parents have been tested, and the kids get tested on Monday. So I'll bring you an update Monday on all that. All right, until then, get outside and do something.